Page 64. His supporters won the day, and John continued to perform, earning rare reviews from the Albany Drama's critics. One critic wrote, quote, "Mr. Booth is full of genius, and this was with his fine face and figure and his artistic conceptions of the characters he performs will always render him a favorite," unquote. John may have been a favorite of the Albany audiences, but he made an enemy in that city who almost cost him his life. Earlier, he had embarked on an affair with Henrietta Irving, the talented and temperamental actress who was his leading lady on the Northern tour. On their return to Albany, Miss Irving suspected that he had switched his affections to another young woman. Consumed with jealousy, she confronted John at a party in their hotel, pulled a dagger from her purse, and tried to stab him in the heart. John threw up his arms to ward off the blow and escaped with a superficial scratch across his face. Miss Irving did not wait to see what had happened. Thinking she had killed Booth, she rushed to her room and stabbed herself. Stabbed herself. Fortunately, the wound was not serious and she survived. John, grateful to have been spared and perhaps feeling guilty, did not press charges against her. When the engagement in Albany was over, he packed his theatrical trunk and went once again to his mother's house in Philadelphia to rest and recuperate. As spring turned into summer, both the North and the South continued to mobilize for all-out war. The North had certain definite advantages in the contest. It was composed of 23 states with a population of more than 22 million, whereas the South was made up of just 11 states with about 9 million people. Nearly 4 million of those were slaves. The North also possessed most of the factories needed to produce guns and ammunition, along with a much more extensive network of railroads in the South and a far larger and more powerful navy. For its part, the South had more trained military men at its disposal, beginning with its president, Jefferson Davis, who was a graduate of West Point. Because of their region's advantage, many in the North thought the war would be over quickly. Acting on that assumption, President Lincoln and his generals launched an invasion of Virginia in July 1861. Their goal was to sweep across the state, vanquish all opposing forces, and seize a great book to give to history, to high school history students and college ones too. Although George Washington, a Catholic university, has abolished the need for American history. I mean, everything I do keeps getting destroyed. The capital of the utterly. I'm teaching people how to acquire real estate and to add more property owners in this city, which is only poor because there are no property owners to collect property taxes from. So all my students acquired a piece of property in 2005. That was one of their things they had to do. Then Katrina. Thank you, Mr. Harrow. I'm not going to talk about anything. It gets utterly destroyed again. Why I would like to be home with Jesus. The Northerners were so sure that the victory would be theirs that flocks of government officials and other residents of Washington, D.C. followed the Union Army into Virginia. They brought along picnic baskets, blankets to spread on the ground, and binoculars through which they planned to watch the fighting. Soldiers and spectators alike were in for a rude shock. On July 21st, the Union Army, made up of largely ill-trained volunteers, met a superior Confederate force at Bull Run, a small stream 30 miles southwest of Washington. Both sides fought bravely, but the Union soldiers were no match for their more experienced Southern counterparts. After suffering heavy casualties, the Northerners broke ranks and retreated toward Washington along roads jammed with panicky civilians. Their picnic plans forgotten. Trying to have a picnic and the war breaks out. The Battle of Bull Run made it clear that the war would be a long, hard struggle. There's no record of how John Wilkes Booth reacted to news of the Confederate victory, but he must have been overjoyed. Edwin, who was spending the summer in New York, had a more personal reason to be happy. He had long waited to perform in England, his parents' homeland, and now an invitation to come to act that fall at the Haymarket Theatre in London. "It is the grand turning point of my career," he wrote in a New York friend. Richard Carey, who was serving as a captain in the Union Army. Then Edwin realized that he had been writing I throughout the letter with no thought to what Carey, in the thick of the war, might be feeling. He apologized for his insensitivity and concluded, God bless you, my boy, and stick to the flag, Dick, as I intended to do, though far away. Edwin and his wife Mary sailed to England in late August and arrived in good time for him to prepare for his London debut in the Haymarket on September 30th. Mary, whose health was frail, had her own preparations to make. She was expecting a child in December and was determined that nothing should go wrong.